Hi, my name is Ryan Sheehy. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Medical Education. I'm also the assistant dean of the basic science curriculum for the MD program. What's something that I wish I knew before I started teaching? What I wish I knew was that I should link my teaching persona with my personality and my teaching philosophy. So when I first started working at UT, I inherited a lot of teaching materials from professors that have been working here for a long time, 30 plus years. And they had had a lot of success with their teaching materials, and I almost felt an obligation to copy what they had done because they had such success with what they had been working with. And so I did that. I copied what they had done. I did that for about a year and a half. And I found my motivation and my desire to teach actually waning, which was crazy to me. This was my dream job. This is what I had worked my whole career to get towards, was to be a professor, to teach in medical school. And it wasn't until I got my hands on an iPad and a pencil, and I just kind of happened to, in class one day, start drawing out the mechanism. And I drew out the mechanism, and there was this spark that happened in me that I thought, oh my goodness, I haven't been doing that. Prior faculty to me hadn't drawn, and so there weren't spots to draw in slides, and that wasn't something I had copied. But I had almost found myself. I had found my muse. And so adding this bit of my personality to what I was teaching really rekindled my desire and my passion to teach. So if you are just starting out teaching, don't lose yourself like I did, and copy. Put a bit of yourself into what you're teaching. And if you've been teaching for a while now and you feel your motivation waning like I described, perhaps you need to do some introspection or reflect to figure out what it is about yourself that you could put into your teaching to reignite your passion. So what now? How do I embody this in what I teach? I'll give you an example. So I'm a dad. I have a couple kids, and with kids, you watch Disney movies. And one of the Disney movies that we watch in my household is Aladdin. And, for those of you that aren't familiar with Aladdin, Aladdin has to go to the Cave of Wonders to get the lamp, to get the genie, to get all the wishes. However, when he's in the Cave of Wonders, he's there with his monkey friend Abu, and Abu decides to touch the forbidden treasure. And when he touches the forbidden treasure, the whole cave explodes. And there's fire everywhere. The Cave of Wonders yells, "Infidels!" And it tries to close its mouth on Aladdin and Abu. And now, I'm a pharmacologist, and you might be thinking, well, how the heck does Aladdin connect with pharmacology? Well, one of the topics I teach are cancer chemotherapeutics, and one of the classes of drugs are the anthracyclines, and a specific example of anthracycline would be doxorubicin. Now, all the anthracyclines have that rube in the middle of them, so it's a really easy way to identify them. And so I tell my students that rube is similar to ruby, and Abu is stealing a ruby from this monkey statue, and at the very top of the monkey statue is a heart. Now, one of the adverse effects that's really hard to remember about the anthracyclines, because it doesn't make logical sense based on how they work, is that anthracyclines cause cardiotoxicity. And when Abu steals the ruby from the statue that has the heart, it melts. And so it's a really easy way to connect popular culture to what I'm teaching in the classroom and allow students to see me as more than just their professor, but as a human, as a dad, and it allows me to embody humanism as a philosophy in how I teach. Now, this has all sorts of positive effects, including allowing students to come to me to ask questions. I feel like students are able to approach me and ask questions easier because now they see me as just another person. They don't see me as this grand automaton that's just spewing pharmacological facts at them. What I will leave you with is that if you find yourself lacking motivation or having that moment where you're feeling burned out and having to prepare teaching materials yet again in the coming semester, self-evaluate and see if there is a bit of yourself in what you are teaching.